Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. And to those of our brothers and sisters who are fasting, hope you are having a lovely time at it. We're past the halfway mark now, I believe. Joe, who is my guest, Joe Ibokwe, you're not fasting.
Our own is coming.
Yeah, a fine morning to you. So, Comrade Joe Ibokwe is an APC chieftain and a current affairs analyst. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Indeed, our pleasure. So, as you know, it's the situation in Rivers, the crisis, the political crisis that has been, I don't know what to say. Has it been nipped in the bud? But certainly Mr. President wasn't going to sit down and be wringing his hands over it. And so he came into the matter and has worked on it. Well, when I say has worked on it, that has led to the suspension for 6 months of the governor, his deputy, and the members of the House of Assembly. We talked about this all through last week, and you must have been listening to so much commentary yourself. There's a point of view that actually what Mr. President has done, whether he intended it or not, whether he knew it or not, has been to actually save politically the governor, Siminalayi Fubara. But that doesn't mean that everybody concurs with that position. There are those who are still complaining. In fact, let me just start from people. Some commentary is leading towards, I think I saw something like that this morning, that this is too reminiscent of the military era. And in a political dispensation, how can things be like this? Professor Wale Soyinka also commented on the matter. He was measured, but he had said that he wished there could have been an alternative solution to this. That was quite measured for Kongi himself, but that's the way he put it, saying that we'll continue to look at it. So let me just ask you, seeing as we need to talk about this again. Emergency rule in Rivers has actually averted an economic crisis, the way things were going, is one theory. What would you say to that theory?
There's a price for everything. If you decide to turn your company, if you have a business, you begin to turn it into a state of anything goes, it will go down.
Okay.
It will go down. You see, elders cannot be at home and allow children to wear snakes. Because the snakes can bite. You can even kill them. The quagmire or the crisis in River State, lasted for too long. 2 years. 2 years, Okami.
Well, yes.
2 years.
But some people are saying, in a political dispensation, yes, lasted for 2 years, in a political dispensation. And there has been the kind of thought train that I have heard that whereas the president is probably within his legal rights, constitutional rights to have done what he did it lean too much towards the way the military used to do things, where politically, people who had been voted for politically can be suspended? So there are people who say that, considering that Mr. President is an acclaimed Democrat, he is the chief sermonizer about democracy, that it will be him that will now go this way. This is leading some people to talk about it.
Let me say, we have antecedents. We know what happened during the Obasanjo's era. He did the same thing in Ekiti State. He did the same thing in Plateau. Just to bring sanity.
Because there wasn't any governance, there wasn't too much governance going on in
Yes.
Rivers. There
Yes.
wasn't governance.
We're coming to that. We're coming to that. That's what we call our continual, politics, Outrageous statements. If you don't do this, we'll pull down this, we'll burn down this. And it happened. 2 good years. You didn't pay members of the House of. Let me tell you, government stands on a tripod. 3: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. So if you remove one, it cannot stand.
Which is among the things that the Supreme Court said.
Yes, it cannot stand. You won't run a government without those 3 arms coming together.
But even as I say what I said, that there's not too much of governance going on, people are noting that, but how about projects that Fubara is launching?
Who approved the money for it? Did it pass through the State Assembly?
Well,
Or
three.
didn't you see the photograph of 3 members of the House of Assembly approving the budget? That's a misnomer. That's an eyesore, mind sore, head sore, ear sore.
So what do we do? They seem to have been the question that the president must have considered. Continue down the path of democracy and the fact that we should operate as a federating system where the state is responsible for itself. For the president to now come in, quote unquote, like a headmaster and say you're suspended. So a lot of people take exception.
There were antecedents.
Yes, you said so.
There were antecedents that you follow. You didn't see the audacity over there, the utterances.
Quite worrying.
For me, it's a misnomer.
And the point
I saw it as a misnomer.
And the point you just recalled that came out of the Supreme Court's decision on this whole matter, one of their lordships had said that there's no way you can say there's a government in place in Rivers State.
There was not.
Because it's
there
a tripod,
was
as you
no
were
semblance
saying.
of anything.
It's a tripod.
Yes.
So how can there not be
you appropriate
a legislature?
You defend, you do this, you do
and
this.
you say there's a government in place. So I don't know, those who are, shall we say, angry at the way things have gone, don't know whether the anger is justified or not. But those who are angry, I don't know the extent to which they considered that aspect, that democracy is fine and good, but how about this tripod thing that we've talked about? And there is no House of Assembly. How can you say there's a government? How can
it's an aberration.
What was touted as the House? So Mr. President came in and said, "Sorry, this is not going to happen. We just have to deal with the matter."
Yes, he stepped in, and the matter died. Not that he died.
I was going
there
to say
was sanity returned in Rivers State. Those utterances, those threats, we will send the boys to go and it started happening. Attack on oil installations.
Whether it was a coincidence.
No. He was talking. He was in a public space. He was in a public space. He dressed them. We will tell the boys to go and do this and do this. We just call the boys. And I said, what is going on? This is not a banana republic now. And you think the president will just fold his hands. What took him 2 years? In almost 2 years, he couldn't put he couldn't solve the problems of River State. In less than 2 days, Achiwaju was able to get the National Assembly, 360 House of Rep members, or 109 senators, to give him the required seats to do what he did. That's leadership. Can't you see that everywhere is calm now? Don't mind people who are there. I can give you 20 reasons why Achiwaju was right in what he did. There were antecedents that we know. Elders cannot be at home and children will wear snakes. It cannot work. Okay. So many things were violated, so many things were turned upside down. We saw it. I saw it coming. I saw the utterances. I saw the actions. Why would you have to demolish the House of Assembly.
I was reading something about that, and
They want to renovate.
Yes.
How is your mother now?
The governor said that place needed to be rehabilitated.
We are not babies now.
We heard him.
Yeah.
We are not babies. We heard him, and we're all Nigerians. So we know when our elders and our officials, when they speak, we can actually read between the lines. But that was his response to that, because Mr. President stated it in his speech that, come on, that has happened. Nobody has taken responsibility for that. And we can't just continue like this. But I suppose it's the way people have a right to talk, and so that's why there's been this conversation. But the president, as you said, the president couldn't have done this on his own, but he got the House of Representatives.
I say in 2 days,
and he
was able to garner them.
In other words, the whole National Assembly.
They were not only APC members.
Yes, yes.
He was able to garner them.
Yeah.
That is synergy. That's organization. That is doing things the way it's supposed to be. Lobby. Lobby.
And in any
what stopped him from getting about 13 members of House of Assembly to be on his side? Only 3.
You know, when you look at it, you just have to admit that the president has come in a very, very important way. Because I go back to the point I made at the very beginning. Even Governor Fubara, his political life is a bit more assured now, because there's time, it is thought, for the warring parties to come to an understanding. 6 months, and that could be sorted out. Then when the emergency is lifted, it continues. But we don't know for sure, do we, that they will allow peace to reign.
They have no choice. They have learned their lessons. You know, these things could have been nipped in the bud. I mean, we were asking where the elders of River State were, their traditional rulers, the stakeholders, big men in River State. Where were they? They couldn't gather to address a problem for 2 years. For 2 good years. It's an indictment on them. The traditional rulers that are gathering now.
So the way you know what I like about the whole thing, it's a whole sorry affair. I'd rather it didn't happen at all, that there wasn't a need. But there was a need, and Mr. President stepped right.
In fact, he was there.
Yes,
and he waited for too long. Let me tell you, River State is not a state you can play with. Given the strategy, it's a strategic state.
Exactly.
And they're making noise about it. They are threatening fire and brimstone about it. No, I mean, everybody don't receive water now. So we'll know how everybody's getting back his senses now. So, I mean, these things couldn't have happened.
And the other thing that I think is noteworthy is the House of Reps, both of them, the Senate, so let us just say the National Assembly, had added, in approving the Mr. President's action, had added that Mr. President was at liberty to lift the emergency if he is satisfied that it is so, even before the 6 months.
Even before. That's if they put traction.
They will.
To resolve the internal contradictions.
I imagine that. You just said they don't have a choice. So
they don't have a choice. They are gathering now.
Yeah. Because
they are consulting.
Yes.
This is what they would have done before.
Because Mr. President, quite frankly, between us, doesn't have anything whatsoever to gain in the woes that have been falling River State.
Yes, we agree. River State is a strategic state in Nigeria, but you can't use it to blackmail the federal government. It's not a state of anything goes. But everybody would have learned some deep lessons as I speak to you now. When Fubara comes back, whether in 3 months or 6 months, he would have learned his lessons. He would have looked back and see some of the things he said and some of the things he was supposed to do and he did not do that led to this. First of all, you go for the members of the House of Assembly because you need them. You need them. You go and take about 10 there. Yes? Take about 10 or 15.
But how about,
he knows what to do.
But how about the point that, you know, he had just said that he's on all fours with the judgment of the Supreme Court. In fact, now let me come and present as the, since they complained, but unfortunately it was a bit late at the time.
It's a little bit late. This is what we have done.
I think Mr. President's train had already left the station.
Yes, yes.
You know,
destination, you know, you cannot turn back.
It has left
cannot
the
turn
station,
back.
you know.
But, you know, don't.
And even they themselves weren't really very anxious to receive him. So it was a mess that wasn't going to clear up. And so the question that will continue to be discussed by all sorts of politicians and all sorts of professionals, especially senior advocates of Nigeria and all of these specialist jurisprudence and all of that, is going to be whether it was right in a democratic context. Now, so what is it about our own democracy? You wouldn't hear about this in the so-called first world, would you? You wouldn't hear this kind of a scenario. In the UK or in the US or any of those other Western capitals, you wouldn't have a situation.
It will never
like
happen.
this.
You can't even try to run a government without the judiciary.
This is the whole point.
Or House of Assembly. They are not supposed to spend one kobo.
And it happened
unless you get the approval.
And it was on for 2 years.
2 years. That was the.
Well, maybe if the viewer, if we can get some phone calls to come in, we'd like to hear what you're also thinking about this whole matter from home. There are a lot of people who are applauding the situation, but then there are also those who are saying that they just feel a bit uneasy.
Yeah, it couldn't have happened.
They feel a bit uneasy about being in a democratic dispensation and the president, you know, even though he's backed by law and done all of that, has done what he has done. But what has he done? He's bought breathing space for the situation there.
Sanity returned.
Well, yeah.
Everybody started getting common sense, even though common sense is not common.
Well, I don't know. You can't get into the minds of the principal combatants in that place.
So they would have learned their lessons.
You think?
You wouldn't know what is going on there. You wouldn't know what is going on there now. I would have done this so. I would have done this so. I would have done this so. I gave you his name. What stopped him from making friends with some members of the State House of Assembly? How did you punish them for almost 2 years? You didn't pay them. By
the way, what's going to happen?
That's an aberration
when
now.
Things now that everybody has been sent packing, they have people that haven't been paid for the past 2 years. Are they still owed? I'm just curious.
They will pay them. Their money should be there.
Okay,
they will pay. Just punish them. Just punish them.
So when
those people endured a lot too.
So when this whole thing is, when it is settled and the people go back to their work and their rule and everything, so they still are owed. The most important thing that seemed to concern Mr. President was governance. The whole, what we Nigerians have what we like to say, the dividends of democracy. Even though
because when two elephants fight, the grasses will suffer.
And in Fubura's credit, even though I said not too much governance was going on, Fubura was still launching projects. So it's not even as unsatisfactory as it was. He kept an eye on the political.
Who approved the budget?
That is again what everybody has.
Who approved the budget? It's illegal.
See where? So even if you do,
if that matter goes to court, they have 15 reasons to get him out of that seat.
So you can't do the wrong thing in the right
No.
You can't do the wrong thing.
You can't do the wrong thing and then tell us to accept it hook, line and sinker. It doesn't add up.
So as you say, maybe, I hope that is the way it's going. Although I've heard some people say that Fubura should challenge this up to the highest court in the land.
Which court again? Nobody Supreme Court.
No,
we just came out of the Supreme Court. This is the highest court in the land. Unless you can go to ECOWAS. Some people used to go to ECOWAS.
No, just the matter of the legitimacy or otherwise of the action.
Nigeria is not a banana republic now. You had all the time in the world to get. There's no excuse on this matter. I'm telling you.
There's
no excuse.
It also, there's a political dimension to all of this because look, you see what is good, you see what is needful, you see what is appropriate, what has to be done. But perhaps because you are not in the right political environment, let me not say opposing camps, then you keep quiet about all of those. Because even though many people have applauded the way the president has, conducted himself on this whole matter, it needs to be said, there's no wishing that away. There are those who are, quite frankly, angry.
And they're playing politics now.
That's why I said...
They want to play politics. Election is coming. In less than 2 years now, the process will start. So they are gathering, but they will gather in vain. They are gathering, but they will gather in vain. They know the truth. They don't want to speak the truth. I'm expecting some people in PDP to say, look, Mr. Governor did not get it right. They can't even protect one of their own. They didn't even show mercy to those members of the State House of Assembly that were subjected to inhuman treatments for almost 2 years. You didn't pay them. It was really, what we saw was an eyesore. An eyesore, getting 3 people lined up and you took the picture and you are sending it to the world. Took the picture where they are passing the budget, three members of the House, members of Assembly. It's a slap on the image of Nigeria.
Everybody saw what was going on, and in the fullness of time, Mr. President acted upon it.
That is it.
Everybody saw it.
That is it. A strong president, when he does certain things, that he did what we expected, and then there's no escape route for the governor. But within these 6 months, he would have learned his lessons. There are certain things, you couldn't have gone to the assembly to demolish without having an alternative.
I am very interested in the concept of Mr. President, the courts, I think the houses, both the House of Reps and the Senate, both of them had said that Mr. President was at liberty to call off the emergency even before the expiration of 6 months.
When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Yes, so we need to, that is why everybody is saying, what in concern Wike in all of this? Don't bring Wike's name into
Wike is busy in Abuja now. They can have their altercations, but when I don't know. You see, when I knew that this trouble is coming, there was a meeting they had in Port Harcourt, and the meeting closed. I saw Wike came and he followed the right. Wike went the right way, and the governor was going left way, and he turned and looked at Wike with a very, he said everything all. If you see how he eyed the man with a very wicked look, as if, who is this one? Who is this one? You forget that is the one that put you there. People should be loyal now.
Which is what the man has
said. Loyalty is key.
I remember, I can paraphrase him, that what he hates is disloyalty. I'm paraphrasing him. Pius, Mr. Pius has called in from Sapele. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead. What's your commentary?
Yeah, I'm Pius from Sapele.
Okay, Pius. Good to have you. Go ahead.
Let what's good for Uganda to good for gender. This what I don't think Kubara is doing mistake. For it to not loyal to the processor. And this not what we continue. Because we can support Tinubu to become president. He don't make Tinubu to come to order. I'm not this thing that we teach Tinubu they fight against it. Not because he's president. He do against what he's fighting for him. We do have NPC that's coming to tell you that these people man they come to tell you to talk to the camera. Tomorrow they will still talk the safety against the Tinubu. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. You heard that show.
I can't even get the trajectory. But it's talking about that what happened may still happen again. What?
Well, that's a political environment that Mr. President understands very, very well.
Well, yeah.
Better than most,
I You know what my position is that a lot of lessons would have been learned. As you know, what happened.
Hopefully, hopefully, we just hope, because it will require a sheathing of swords. It will require
people will do some self-examination.
Yes, you know, there will. If you want to call it sacrifices, go ahead and call it sacrifices.
We don't have a recurring decimal. Wike, as they say, Wike is busy in Abuja. He's not idle. He's almost the governor in Abuja, and you are doing your own. All you need to do is to, you know, we saw some of these things in Lagos when I was a publicity secretary. You know.
Okay.
I remember when I joined the fashion house to go that fashion house second time. You know,
Okay.
Achiwaju's mommy took over the matter. The matter was settled in her house in Ikeja. Achiwaju moved her mom and said, "You must come back, and the matter was resolved." It's a matter between father and son.
So these things can be resolved. Yeah, where there's a will, there's a
will.
Where there's a will, there's a will.
The level we got,
yes,
I don't think it's going to be anything, you know, worse than what we had in the past. Okay. Moving forward now.
Yeah. Tony in Jos. Good morning, sir.
Morning, my brother.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. It's like you have allowed my credit to be burning for so long.
I came to you as soon as I could. I'm so sorry.
Money is hard to come by.
All right.
Money is hard to come by.
Indeed. I agree with you.
All
right, then. Thank you very much.
Some of your program.
Okay.
There is one thing we should know. State of emergency in this country is not a strange thing. State of emergency is not a new thing in this country. We had it during Obasanjo as a president, 1999, when he was the president. You understand me? So, coming to River State, it shouldn't be anything new. We should even thank God for our president introducing that. Are we all aware in this country, if not because of dirty politics, are we all aware in this country that our President Tinubu invited all these politicians, the governor and Wike and the state assembly members? The first invitation. And they all signed after that meeting. They went back to a different thing. He now called the second meeting again. He invited the elderly people who witnessed the First Republic democracy. Because the way they look, when our president invited them, they are all elderly men. From their look, you understand me? He now told them after the meeting they should go and respect the rule of law. You understand me? It's law that make a country. It's law that make any society. In a family, you must have rule in a family. Not to talk of a country, not to talk of a state, not to talk of a local government. It's law that guides every living human being environment. You understand me?
Yeah.
Where is it done in the history of this country? For three members of the House to present a bill, or to present what do you call it? But
to constitute a house, 3 members.
For us supporting wrong thing, it won't head to anywhere. It's never done in anywhere, even America. Where is it done? You understand me? What is wrong should be wrong, and what is right should be right.
Indeed.
If we don't correct it now, when are we going to correct it? You understand me? So the step our president has taken, we wouldn't know the consequence it would have been if he had not taken that step by introducing state of emergency. You understand me? If angel of God is to come down and tell us that if our president did not take that step by introducing state of emergency, it would have been the consequence. You understand me?
I
that
do.
state would have been in fire.
All right then.
And we will be saying we condone, we condemn, we console. All manner of language will come out.
All right then. Thank you very much, Tony, for calling in. It goes back to the point that I was making early in the program that Mr. President he's a widely knowledgeable politician, and he has this long, shall we say, foresight. So he's seen that these rumblings are not good at all. Nobody can joke with River State. Nothing must happen to the assets national assets that happen to be located.
That's why I said it's a strategic, there's a strategic
Can't take
state.
chances. You can't.
And right from day one, Achiwaju, the president was getting information about what is happening there daily. Even as it was escalating, he had information. He saw the boys in the creeks threatening to bring down all the installations.
All the assets.
And the next day, 2 was in flames.
No. Yeah.
Only a madman will wait in the face of the woodman's axe.
So
they will cut your neck.
You know what? Let me take a break so that we can come back and continue the conversation, especially along this line that you have just spoken about. There are those who would think that it's not too high a price to pay if that is the way it has to go, so as to preserve this democracy that all of us have, fought for, and but that's their way of looking at it, and that's one school of thought that, look, in the interest of democracy, even though you can see that you could come in, but to do so would be to infringe on the independence of the federating units.
Yes.
Look, Tinubu decided that, you know what, I got to tread this path in the interest
No,
of
it's called hard decisions.
Yeah, hard.
Hard decisions.
Okay, let me take this break. Do stay with us, please, and keep the calls coming in. We'd like to hear what people think about the matter. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and I don't want to keep Alhaji Subaya in Alimosho waiting any longer. He's been on the phone since the break. Good morning, Alhaji Subaya.
Yeah, Mr. Ayori, good morning. How are you, sir? And good morning to your guest, Mr. Igukwe.
Indeed.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You see, first of all, let me give kudos to our president, President Tinubu, for taking a proactive decision, courageous decision. Mr. Ayori, do you know what even baffle me? Every day, every morning, you'll be hearing of River State commotion, River State commotion. Like, as if to say, there's no other state in this country again. Look, I think the president has taken the rightful position, and enough is enough for political rascality. Nigeria is not a banana republic. Yes. What is happening is, in fact, detrimental to the integrity of this country. And in fact, and it's so disappointing. Most of the elders that is in the River State, our past president was there, Jonathan was there, what did they do? So this is an issue that has lingered for almost 2 years. So, you see, the president has done it in a rightful decision, a proactive decision, and it needs to be commended. And enough is enough for that. And consider the sensitivity of River State. So that is my contribution. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Subaya. He, in passing, he touched on former President Goodluck Jonathan. He has been, gently critical, but critical nevertheless.
He did one in the north now, when he was the president. Although it was local government, selected local governments. See, anybody that understands everything about matters of leadership should praise the president. He did what he did, and there was calm in River State. Nobody would have known what would have happened if he didn't do anything.
Okay, let me bring in Samuel, calling from Jos. Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, your guest.
Yes, he heard you.
Thank you. Uncle Yori, we don't have issues with the president giving state of emergency, in River State. But why must he suspend elected officials? At the same time, I want you to take a look at what happened between Ambodi and President Tinubu when he had issues with him. Did he allow him to finish his tenure or not? President Tinubu was having every opportunity to make sure whether he removed him or not, but he allowed him to finish the first 4 years. Now, coming to the issue of River State, to me, looking at what the President Tinubu said, he put all the blame on the governor as being the one to channel the crisis When the local government chairman from Ikole, former local government chairman, came out to say call for the governor, Mumuman, the lawyer, after the Supreme Court judgment, he tore a goat and was calling the goat Fubara must obey Wiki. We all watched the video. And now, the commissioners were appointed by the Wiki.
Yes.
All were asked to resign. And the first intervention of President Tinubu, they were asked to go back, and the governor took them back. To implement the judgment, we were all watching what was going on. I expected those lawmakers to come back to the drawing board and accept whatever agreement the governor was calling them. But they never do that. Their aim and target was impeachment. They were dancing to the tune of one man. Look at the recent media chat with the FCT minister. Look at the choice of words he was using. Yet, President Tinubu did not see any fault in it. We are saying that President Tinubu, I am saying that President Tinubu, the minister is not doing you any good. Talk to him. If he does not listen to you, you have the right to suspend him or remove him. There are millions of Nigerians that can do the job that Wike is doing today. He openly said that he will resist any godfatherism in Rivers State. I don't know whether sometimes Wike don't watch the past videos of what he said in the past. I don't know whether he don't used to come across them. But they are all on social media. All we want is peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joe, you heard that.
You know, if you have somebody, you succeeded somebody, you can make peace. You can make peace. You can lose something, you can gain something. You know, say, in the interest, I want to succeed. I want to do my first time, I want to get my second time. Let me concede this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is called loyalty.
You know, I don't think very many people saw Mr. President coming from where he came from. That is, state of emergency, suspending all principal officers of the state.
I saw it coming.
You did?
I saw it coming. Because a lot of things would have gone wrong.
For sure.
People would have died.
For sure. But for most people, maybe those who are not politically savvy enough.
Yes, immediately he made that pronouncement, peace returned that place. Everybody's eyes cleared.
Well, you're putting it that way. Because you are also opposition, because you're an APC chieftain. You know, so you're putting it that way, that everybody's eyes cleared. That might not be the way that Fubura and the APC, I mean the PDP, I beg your pardon.
We would have continued with the Alota continual politics. That's what we see there. Alota continue, you know. All this, that's we have gone past that stage many years ago. Alota continue, that's what I tagged it. You know, people doing things without thinking.
So what
do you know that actions carry consequences?
Of course.
So that is it. We saw the signals. We saw it. You know, blackmail, attacking of strategic institutions. No sitting president will sit down in the face of this assault.
What do you think about those, for instance, like our last caller, that was, was that Tony in Jos? He had said, so what's wrong with, go ahead with what you want to do, Mr. President, but leave the politicians, leave the elected officials in place.
Were they sent away permanently?
Well, that's another thing.
It's not a permanent thing.
It
You said 6 months. 6 months, you can, if they show some maturity and understand it, in 2 months, this thing will end.
But Mr.
I know Achuaju very well. I know what he's going to do.
Mr. President, he told us in his speech that I have tried to intervene.
He did.
Yeah, of course.
He called them.
We all saw it, but it didn't come to anything. Elders have tried to intercede. It didn't come to anything. But, well, now they brought federal might.
Their eyes don't clear.
By the powers granted him via the Constitution.
But let everybody go home and think.
Professor Wale Soyinka said that he wishes that even if the president is covered constitutionally, he wishes that being the kind of politician that he is, he would have searched very far and wide for an alternative to suspending.
Because I am more now.
No more.
No more time. Time is a great healer of wounds.
Okay. So you feel that we'd explored all the, Mr. President, I mean, the country has explored all the options and it wasn't going to get better.
It was a 2 years affair.
It was.
Are we going to wait for 4 years?
Okay. Ade in Kaduna, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, a very good morning to you today.
Thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead, please.
I have been following the matters regarding River State. And I have restrained myself a lot from even making any comment. I'm a good watcher.
Okay.
But I find it difficult to understand how people talk or how people reason. The River State people that are expected to be highly placed enough to take hard decisions and make everything to be all right, refuse to do so. All of them file behind one person or the other. And the whole of this nation is being turned hot. How will you expect the president to be looking? And they said that he has no right to suspend it, Under emergency rule, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Under any emergency rule, anything happens. Were we not here when we have the doctrine of
necessity?
What is it called?
The doctrine of necessity.
Doctrine of necessity.
The House. Doctrine of necessity. Were we not here? Under what constitution was that? And those who know how to read and interpret the constitution, they were looking at at what they turned to be true fighting. But let me say honestly, there is no issue with Wike here at all.
Okay.
Wike is not elected person in River State as of now. The battle is between the governor and the River State people. And in all of it, I'm not a judge. Everybody can see that it is the governor that is being taught wrongly to do things in an abrasive manner. And everybody now talked down their reasoning faculty and started turning. There are some people, I don't want to mention name here, as a young man in Imo State or whatever, that is just talking the fight every time.
Yeah.
And those who call themselves senior advocate of Nigeria, they will turn everything upside down, and you just be watching what is happening in Nigeria. It's very sad. Very, very sad. We can have no problem in this thing at all. Look at, for example, look at Akwa Ibom State. I was watching a program when the man in Akwa Ibom State, the governor there, Omoeno, said, "Oh, see them sitting by my side. This is my grandfather. This is my father." And he was jokingly saying that, and he was having a good government in his state. Why do you want to be stiff-necked and then you believe that everything is going to be all right with you? And rather than the elders sitting down to see everything to be all right, you went and pulled down multi-million naira something, best in Nigeria. And everything was just going, everything was clapping, and you believe that the president should clap. I want to say it here, finally, that those who are
okay, I think something happened there, but it's clear you were going to say what you know, in one line, what you had said before that. Mr. President didn't have any other option if he was going to be a responsible leader. And you know, that's the one thing that Tinubu is very, very particular about. It's about his legacy, and it's about his performance. He has made promises to the electorate, and he's not going to allow anything to come out this way to disrupt all of that. And that's why we're hinging our conversation on the impact this could have on the economy. Mr. President himself stated it out now. The economy is gradually, you know, improving, you know.
And you want to create a setback
minute,
in a strategic state.
It might be minute increments, to just borrow from the critics. But even the critics cannot say that there has not been any improvement at all.
The little fire that gutted a small house somewhere can lead to
precisely, precisely.
Take over all everywhere and destroy it everywhere. See, Rivers is not a state to toy with.
I just remembered something, Joe. I heard some commentators on television stations saying that this vote, that is before they had come with a resounding okay to Mr. President, subject to, look, Mr. President, if you feel before 6 months things are cool, you could lift it. You know, besides that, people had thought it was of such an important issue that the voice vote should not have been used. Let everybody vote individually. Let's be able to analyze. Let's be able to look at who voted for what and who didn't vote for what. Why didn't they go that way?
Well,
to show a complete transparency and that
at the National Assembly.
Yes.
Well, nobody has complained.
Well.
Nobody has complained.
Nobody has complained.
Nobody was gagged. Nobody was forced.
You're right.
They need to do their job.
One way or the other.
That's why I said you wouldn't know. Give Achiwaju that credit. He knows how to get people.
Yeah.
How did he manage to get those people? 109, 360.
Yes.
In 2 days. This one in 1 year. 2 years, you couldn't solve a small problem.
Okay.
Both opposition members. He got his numbers.
Okay. Let's take Dr. Pat. Good morning, Dr. Pat.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Uncle Yori, how are you?
I'm very well, ma'am.
My contribution to this matter is it's like people are damn too emotional. It's like emotion is working here.
Okay.
Because Mr. A or Mr. B is APC, they will be supporting APC, or Mr. B is PDP, they will be supporting PDP. What is saying the truth about this matter? And it's wrong, very wrong. Let's call it spade. I'm not APC or PDP, but I'm on my own, so to speak. Even though I love everybody. People don't like Tinubu. Let Tinubu come tomorrow and be giving everybody 1 million. Still, they will not like him. The hatred is too much. It's too much. I'm not supporting him. But let's be realistic on this matter. Everybody should say the truth. And the only person I respect in this matter, that I know he can say the truth and is saying the truth, is Wale Soyinka. He's not sentimental. He's not sentimental. So people should just know how to deal with this matter so that there will be peace.
Yeah.
But all this emotion, this one is not good, this one, they should stop it and let's move on.
Indeed.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pat. Well, you see,
somebody.
Yes.
You don't like the president.
Well,
okay.
she called it.
He's the president of Nigeria. He has been elected.
Whether you like him or not,
so
he's the
just
president.
key in.
And hopefully,
love your president anyway.
There are more.
Love your president.
There are more that like him than don't like him.
We love our president.
And she commended Professor Soyinka. Even we had said here that Professor Soyinka was. He was measured because it's a very delicate matter. It's a sensitive matter. He's measured. He was measured in his critique.
He wouldn't have seen the bigger picture or the big picture. The man that is in Abuja gets information. People can be speaking from different angles, but there's something on the table. There's something that he knows that you don't know. He has come a long way. He has been a senator. He has been a governor. He's now the president. He has seen a lot. He has ruled Lagos, most complex state in Nigeria. So he has a lot to bring to the table, and he knows a lot.
Well, Tinubu has this reputation for bold decisions
when
necessary.
When necessary. Hard decisions, that's what we call it.
Yeah. I mean,
if you don't, you fail.
Even his Muslim ticket. What was bolder than that?
He went through it.
Yes.
He dared it and went through it. These are the things you need to consider.
This man is not a stranger to hard decisions.
That's what
you might not agree with him at the time, but, so
he is my principal, so I know him very well.
So far, so good, Well, thank you very much, Dr. Pat, for calling in and making that point that Tinubu might not be everyone's favorite uncle, but
it's not everybody that will like you.
Yes, now
there was an election in the US,
but there's a job to be done.
There's a job to be done.
That's
You do the
Tinubu's
work.
perspective.
You do the work, and what a good president is known for taking hard decisions and stand by it.
Okay, let's take as our last caller this morning, Kayode from Kogi State. Good morning, Kayode. Kayode, are you still there? Good morning. Kayode, yes, in Kogi. Okay, go right ahead, please. Did you hear me? We're ready for you. Go ahead, Kayode.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead. We have
I'm with you. Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning.
You are doing a nice job. There's quite many criticism over here, but I can commend you over and over again.
It's the same thing we're talking about. Not everybody would love the president and what he has done, but there's a job to be done, and he has done it.
Sir, I want to talk over the program.
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead and have your say. Have your say, Kayode.
Sir, I just sometimes wonder what people say concerning the governorship in the governor rulership in Rivers State. I think Uncle Joe Igboke have said it, that the governor did not play smart. The president played neutral, bringing a neutral person to preside over the state of affairs of the state, and bringing somebody from that geopolitical zone to oversee the affairs of the state. I think is fair enough, and it's a period for the two factions to sit and begin to dialogue.
All right.
I told people over and over again, but they are emotional and sentimental about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Kayode. There's a sense in which it's understandable what Kayode has observed. Yeah. And even Dr. Pat made the same point, that people are being sentimental about this, but at the end of the day, hopefully,
matter of governance is not something.
We shall see that we were lucky to have a person at the helm of affairs
you can't sit in
that
your
can
house.
do what needs to be done.
Yes, you can't stay in your house and know what is happening. I've seen governors at work.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Talk less of president of Nigeria.
No, well, we have to leave it for now. As the matters, as it develops, we'll come back on it and we'll look at it.
No, we'll get out of it.
Yeah.
We'll get out of it.
Yeah.
And we're almost there.
I
think lessons would have been learned by now, but they got both sides.
I just hope
they will go to the table and resolve their one table. They will sit on one and resolve their matters.
Hope that.
That's what I'm expecting.
And I just hope that Mr. President, in his wisdom and the evidence on the ground, will see him to saying that, it's 3, 4, 5 months in. I think we can go back to normal.
Go back.
It might even be 2. Who knows? But it was marvelous that the assemblies put that proviso in there. That Mr. President, should you feel that things are good enough, you can just you don't need to wait for 6 months.
If we see enough reason,
yes,
to show that we have sanity. If we have learned our lessons,
exactly,
you can go back to your desk and enjoy your desk.
So we leave it there, and we thank all those that called in, on the program to share their perspective on the matter. So we're going to leave it and thanking Engineer Joe Igboke, who's been our guest this morning. Thank you very much. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folare. Bye-bye for now.